morning everyone on what is going on. It turns out, according to a recent report, that Indians are #1 when it comes to investing into an ICO. But you know what? Indians are not hodlers, they are flippers. They participate into an ICO and they're the first one to get out of it. They are not hodlers. Is that true? I'm not sure. We're gonna go ahead and look into it. But before I jump into today's news, I want to share something. So today I'm going to be having Mr. Sunil Agarwal on the channel for an interview. He is also the author of Bitcoin Magnet, some of the first book written for by an Indian author on Bitcoin. And I think you have tagged me. I think he was also a part of a conference on blockchain regulation in Bangalore on 5th of May. And so there is a video here that some of you actually tagged me. I think Dinaka tagged me here. So
20 years back, we could have created Amazon.
Yeah, so he is going to be on the channel today. So I request you all to join me, and if you have your questions, and of course I have a set of questions, it'll be an interesting discussions on the regulations of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. He's somebody who's been into the space for a very long time, and I think there were no exchanges that used to exist in India. So it'll be very, very interesting discussion. Do join me around 2 o'clock. Now, coming back to this report today, right? And we also going to talk about the Bitfinex is printing some more USDT, some more tether, and that will eventually might drive the price of a Bitcoin up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let me know. But let's start with this interesting research analysis today. So there was this ICO called Reme. So they did an ICO about 7 or 8 months back, and what they found out is that so they came out with this report, right? And according to this report, it says that the India, when it comes to number of contributors, so India is the biggest one, which is 521 people contributed from India. Now again, this data is only for this particular ICO. This is not in general for all the ICOs, but this is for this particular ICO, Reme. So there are 521 people who contributed from India. And but out of those 521 people, only 35% people who are still holding on to this Reme coin. Rest of them actually sold off. And it turns out, according to their report, they says the people from the rich country, that is developed countries like US and UK, are the people who hold on to their coins, and people from the developing countries are actually not the ones who actually hold on to, and they're good at flipping it. And the worst ones are Russians, according to the report here. So again, they mentioned that, you know, they have titled it like the poor flip and the rich hodl. Poor flip means they are referring to the developing countries like India, Nigeria, and all those stuff. Don't sell to Russians at all. One of the conclusions that can be drawn from their numbers, because Russians are the first one to flip it. So it turns out that many buyers from developing countries like Brazil, Nigeria, Pakistan, Turkey, and the Philippines are inclined to sell their quiet tokens within just 4 months of their listing. Countries like Russia and Ireland are also in the flipping group. So here you have the data. You have United States with 400 contributors, even though, so what you will actually notice, the contributors from United States and United Kingdom are lesser than what is there in India, but their contribution of Ethereum is a lot higher. So for example, there are 1000 Ethereum for India, there are 1500 Ethereum for UK, US, and then 1700 from UK, right? And if you see the number of hodlers in US is more, 79% still holding onto their tokens, and UK is 57%. Now, I'm not really sure. Now, you might ask me, Shay, that, you know, how are they showing up the US data? Because US is not supposed to participate into an ICO. And to answer that question, I really don't know. I really don't know how the US are participating. How is this data coming in from? But yes, officially, US citizens are not supposed to participate. So maybe there are some other view. There may be some workaround for the US citizens, right? So, but this is very interesting data. It turns out that there are n number of investors from India. I was actually shocked to see the numbers. India right here on the top, right? And what they are building here is they are building up a dApp. So this is the Reme ICO. They are building up a dApp wherein you don't need to have these different passwords, right? And this is basically very exciting product. Again, I need to read more about it. And he, the CEO, I think the CFO, actually posted this analysis, this report on his Facebook profile. So quite interesting to see. I'll leave the link in the description below and go ahead and check that out. Next one I want to share is the Bitcoin price is a comeback as 250 millions of new Tether is about to enter the circulation. The last time it happened, I think somewhere in the month of March, and we saw a little bit of price jump of a Bitcoin. Not a lot, maybe a couple of $1,000, hundreds dollar, I guess, and it might happen once again. So it seems like they're printing about 250 millions of new Tether token. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I really don't know. Maybe it's a bad thing. If they don't have the dollar reserve, so they're printing 250 millions, it's definitely a bad thing. What is interesting also is that recently we saw a survey, a research done by legal firm FSS. They said that, you know what, Tether have all the money that they claim to have, and they're all clean. In fact, they have more than what they're supposed to have. So maybe they're right, maybe they're not, but definitely Bitfinex or maybe Tether has been a topic of controversy, And recently, Bitfinex Chief Strategy Officer also quits. He resigns. Now, why does he resign? Because of the issue with the Bitfinex and Tether, or is he getting some better offer? That's also something that everyone needs to think about it. So maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not a good thing, right? The next one, which I found the most annoying thing, is China has come up with a report, a ranking for the cryptocurrencies. Tell me something. If you have banned cryptocurrency exchanges, if you're not at all interested in cryptocurrencies, why the heck do you want to come up with this ranking system, right? And also look at the ranking system. They have ranked EOS #1, which already there is a controversy going on whether it's a centralized EOS or decentralized EOS. The block producers blocking the transactions and whatnot. And EOS surprisingly is #1 and Ethereum is #2, and Bitcoin is dropping to 17. Ridiculous ranking that I've ever seen. And first of all, why does China need to do that? I mean, look at this. The ranking of cryptocurrency projects is by the Chinese government has been revised with 2 new projects. Chinese governments, either this is a joke or this is very annoying. I mean, why would a country which has banned cryptocurrency still wants to go ahead and rank cryptocurrency, So yeah, that's all I have for you right now. Thank you so much for watching right now. Give this video a like or a dislike, leave your comment, and do not forget to join me with this gentleman, Sunil Agrawal, today on the interview. See you next time. Take care.